Alright, so the internet is changing, and if you don't know ways to leverage it to make money from home by now, then you need to watch this video. At a certain point, I too was stuck, and it wasn't until I started to get creative. And in this video, I'm about to tell you everything that I've learned. So the first method on how to make money from home is something that I'm actually doing right now, which is flipping free items for profit. Alright, so that's right, you heard it correctly. You can absolutely sit at home and get free items delivered right to your doorstep, but let me explain how. Alright, so there's a process called coupon code stacking, and what coupon code stacking is exactly what it sounds like. You have an item, you have several different coupon codes that bring the price down to either free or darn near free. Now, sometimes it's not always free. Sometimes these are 90% discounts. Sometimes these are 70. Now, back in the day, how you would do this is you would look in your sales papers, right? And then you would find multiple coupons for these same items. And even during my time when I was a teenager and I was a clerk, I actually seen situations where the store ended up owing the customer money. But now that the internet is here, you don't even have to look through sales papers because now the coupon is digital. So thanks to how far technology has came, it's much easier to detect these items. Now, there are several Facebook groups dedicated to this exact same thing when certain items have coupon codes that stack on top of each other, and mostly Amazon. In fact, a lot of this takes place in Facebook groups because they usually put out a call, right? And let's say it's a swimming pool and it's gone down in price thanks to whatever designated coupons. At that point, everybody rushes over to put those coupon codes in, put that item in their cart, and see if they can check it out using those coupons. But it's been taken to another level at this point, and this is the way that I'm currently doing it right now, and that's using robots to do this side hustle. Now, of course, the process works the exact same way, except it's all 100% automated. So compared to doing it manually through Facebook groups to where you have to wait on the signal, wait on the pings, using the bots, you have to do nothing but the initial setup and then literally just wait. Because see, these bots are designated to crawl the tens of thousands of products in the Amazon database at all times. So instead of waiting for the notification to go check out an item, the bot rather sends you a notification and says, hey, you either hit on this item or you missed on this item. So that's right. If you win, if you hit, it automatically checks it out for you, giving me a huge leg up on the manual users. Now, although the items are completely random, I've seen people get air fryers, I've seen people get TVs, cameras, laptops, you name it. I want to talk about how to sell this because see, the sweet part about this is that you're getting this stuff 100% free. So selling it shouldn't be hard because everything that we make off of this is 100% profit. Now, some of the creative ways that I've seen these type of things sold in these groups, and I'm specifically talking about the Facebook raffle groups. Now, these raffle groups, they use the lottery system as far as picking out the numbers of who all enters the raffle. And I think that's pretty dope because it ensures that there's no funny business going on. But you take the Powerball, right? Take the Powerball. The final number on the Powerball is numbered 1 through 26, right? The Powerball can't be greater than 26. It can't be less than 1. It's always a number in between that. Whichever number the Powerball gets, that's who wins the item. So let's say you hit an air fryer, right? And you got it 100% free. You could essentially raffle it off and charge like $4 a spot. And at 26 spots, you're gonna get a little over $100 for that free air fryer. So that's one of the most common ways that I see these freebies kind of sold. But let's say you didn't want to do that, because I understand that. Let's say you just want to sell it straight up. You can 100% do that. You can sell them all individually, right? List them on Facebook Marketplace, list them on Craigslist, list them in the Facebook buy and sell groups, which is separate from the marketplace. Put them on eBay because there's gonna be a lot of random items, right? But here's one thing we got working in our favor when it comes to these items. Brand new items in the secondary market are always king or always golden. I'm gonna put a link to the bot that I use down below if you want to go ahead and explore that side hustle. Moving on to the next method. Now, graphic design is a skill that I can 100% testify for, and that's because before I did YouTube, that's exactly what I did. I was a freelance graphic designer. I made a decent amount of money right from the comfort of my home, and graphic design is one of the easiest, most profitable ways to make some extra money on the side. In the summer of 2013, I originally picked up graphic design as a hobby, but once I learned that there was a whole career path for it, meaning you could even go on and get a job, and that people got paid 6 figures to do that, that's when I started to take it serious. Now, what I'm recommending you do is what I did, is study, right? I stayed up 4 hours every night learning how to use Photoshop, learning how to use Illustrator, learning how to use all these different graphic design tools. And within about a month, I would say, of learning, I was already confident enough to start charging people for it. Now, when I started at about $25 per design, right? And it took me about 1 to 2 hours to complete a design or a logo or something like that. What I didn't know at the time was that I was charging dirt cheap. However, I was easily getting 4 or 5 inquiries a day, 4 or 5 covers, 4 or 5 logos a day, easily making $100 a day within no time, bro. Now, as you get better, so will your prices, right? And your work will get faster. So if $25 in 1 to 2 hours wasn't attractive, you will certainly get to a point where you will be able to do something that you would charge $100, $200 for, that you could do that in 15, 20 minutes. So those days are coming, but you have to learn. And so first, what I'm going to recommend you have is some type of computer, some type of laptop, right? Now, I'm not going to recommend that you go get the fastest, the best specs, right? Because I started on a really trash laptop. What's more important is that you go learn the basics. Go to Udemy, go to LinkedIn Learning, which was formerly lynda.com, and type in graphic design for beginners, graphic design basic tutorial. And I even on this channel have some just basic beginner stuff on Photoshop. Now, it will take some time to learn. It all depends on how dedicated to the process you can become. So next, what I would recommend you do is go to adobe.com, right? Check out the Creative Cloud Suite. Those are all the design programs you're gonna need, because having the whole suite helps. However, Photoshop is what you're gonna be focusing on, especially if you wanna be serious about graphic design. Photoshop, I think, is like $19.99 a month now, and the whole suite is, I believe, $50 a month. Photoshop used to be thousands of dollars, bro, for that software. So the fact that everybody's moving to subscription base really helps out in that regard. You don't wanna go to Lynda. If you're like, bro, I don't have no money to start up on like these tutorial websites, bro, YouTube University is how I learn. Find a graphic design teacher and stick with them, because once you get to the point where you're confident enough to charge people, now it's time to get on Instagram. It's time to do artwork for famous people in hopes that they repost it so that you can get more clients. That actually happened for me. You start to build your clientele, and then before you know it, you're waking up with 3, 4, 5 inquiries, 3, 4, 5 deposits, and then boom, your day is filled with graphic design. Now, the next tip I have for you when it comes to how to make money from home: digital files and digital sales. All right, so with digital files, I've definitely sold a bunch of those, and that's the most passive income you could ever dream about. And what's craziest about this, bro, is that anybody could do it and make serious money doing it. Now, if you don't know what digital files are ebooks, PDF files, art files, right? We just talked about Photoshop. Photoshop files are technically digital files. We all experts at something, right? Whether it's washing a car, baking a cake, changing a tire, there's somebody out there willing to pay to learn and willing to pay to learn it your way, right? And here's something that I want you to understand, that I had to understand even with doing what I'm doing to you today, which is trying to educate people through a camera. When you start thinking about a digital file, specifically an ebook or something where you're giving information, you're always going to ask yourself, like, bro, why are people going to feel like they need to listen to me? Why are people going to feel like they want to listen to me? And here's a fact, bro. As humans, we just have the need, the knack to, number one, get direction from something or somebody, and number two, just to like follow something, believe in something. And so I said that to say, all it takes for somebody to believe that you're an expert or a pro baker, or you're a pro at making cookies, or you're a pro at changing tires, is literally you saying that you are, carrying yourself that way and presenting your product or yourself that way. And here's the thing, you don't even have to know anything special, bro, because trust me, I'm somebody who's bought several digital files. It's rare that it's just some groundbreaking information in there. The true value of a digital file is having all the information that I want centralized and put in one place. So what that means is that even if you don't know how to bake a cake, you can still put a valuable ebook together about making cakes by simply just going to Pinterest and going and finding 10 different cake recipes and blending them all into one ebook and calling it the ultimate cake guide, right? Now, I'll never tell you to rip off anybody's work. Of course, I would strongly suggest that you rearrange things. You take that as inspiration and make it your own. But let's be real, when something like recipes, bro, that's like not top secret, especially if you've got it on the internet. Now, what if you get ahead of something like baking cakes, which is something that's popular? What if you get ahead of something that's not quite popular yet? What if you go out and gather information about something that nobody else has done yet? Like, for example, I took the time out. I have a video about iPhone flipping, right? So what I did was I went and I looked at the value of each and every iPhone, right? And what that would do for my prospective buyer is, instead of you having to go on eBay and search up the true value of a device, Rico's already organized it for you, and it's all on one sheet, right? So the value of that digital file is that right there. I'm not teaching you anything groundbreaking or brand new about the iPhone. I've simply just done something that not many other people have done yet. Now, Etsy is the leading place where digital files are sold, I would say. However, different services definitely allow you to host digital files. And the only reason I say Etsy is the #1 place because, bro, there's art print-offs that are digital. There are party favors that are digital, bro, like all type of stuff. And if you're a graphic designer, you should definitely be on there taking advantage of digital files on Etsy. But what you should do, exhaust all your options, bro. Once you get your product, once you get your ebook, get on Facebook, get on Pinterest, get on Instagram, get on Twitter. What I would suggest is to even go to Etsy, right, and look up some of the most common digital files and then check to see how many there are and then try to make one of your own, right? Now, if you do have that information, if you do have groundbreaking information, there are several ebook making softwares available to all of us today. But if it came down to it, bro, I'm telling you, you can use like Microsoft Word. Just keep in mind, bro, you want to make it look attractive. So if you have to, pay a designer or somebody on Fiverr to make you a good cover, because I promise you that's going to make or break your sale. Now, what makes this once again so sweet is that, bro, you only have to put in the time to make this once. And because it can be just duplicated over and over and over again, you're not missing out on anything going forward, bro. It's just literally just passive income. So what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself once again waking up to, boom, you got an order and order and order and order. And in this case, you don't have to do anything for other than that than to collect. The next method that I'm going to recommend you make money from home is going to be sneaker restoration. All right, so the sneaker climate is crazy right now, right? Everybody hates sneaker resellers. Everybody hates losing on sneakers. Everybody hates everything about that except the sneakers themselves. And while the sneaker reselling business itself, I would never accuse of being home-based simply because of how much running around you have to do to really be successful in that. Today, I'm specifically talking about the sneaker restoration part of that already billion-dollar industry. And to keep it real, the fact that we need more people doing restorations means that the few people that are doing them are cleaning up, bro. Literally. Now, there are two ways you can make bank restoring sneakers. You can restore them for people locally, right? And have set fees for cleanings, steam cleanings, complete restoration, you name it. Or you could take shoes in bad condition, restore them, and then sell them for a higher margin. Now, just like anything else, right? Sneakers hold or lose value based on condition, right? So the exact same shoe can be worth 20 bucks in terrible condition and 2,000 bucks in mint condition. And so you want to know what your job is going to be? Your job is going to be working yourself into that $20 to $2,000 margin. So you want to know where you can find shoes, right? eBay is going to be my first choice. Why? Because when it comes to used shoes on eBay, people already know they can't charge an arm and a leg. And especially if you're getting some beaters, which is a really beat up pair of shoes, then you can search for the image, you can examine them, and you can just usually get them for a better price. I tend to find locally that unless somebody is just desperate, bro, people think that their beat up shoes are worth a little more than they actually are, which is okay. Now, if you are gonna restore for people locally and just charge a set price, because I'm gonna tell you this right here, just off this alone, a common problem that most sneakerheads have is that their shoes yellow at a certain point, and no amount of cleaning, no amount of washing is gonna unyellow those soles unless they take them to someone who restores sneakers. And that means people will pay to bring those soles back white or clear. Now, there's a detoxification process called icing soles, which I've actually covered up on this channel. In short, there are certain chemicals you can buy, which you combine that chemical on the soles with the sun or UV light. You can indeed reverse that yellowing process. Now, in the video that I made covering this, I actually built what is called an ice box, right? And it's made out of a box, foil to bounce off the UV lights, and then a UV light at the top. And I'm gonna link that video and everything I use down below. But your ice box will cost you a total of maybe 50 bucks to make. And I promise you, after you post that you iced your first sole, you are gonna have so many people wanting you to do theirs, and that box will have paid for itself tenfold by the end of that day. Now, let's talk about some basic supplies that you're gonna need, right? You're gonna need acrylic shoe paint, right? And I'm gonna mostly suggest that you get white and black to start off with, because a lot of the times there's just some scuffs that you can't clean, so you might have to paint over. Of course, paint brushes, that's for obvious reasons. I don't want to go too deep into it. I'll let you check out the other video if you want to, but an airbrush. An airbrush gives you a nice finish. However, I don't want to overwhelm you when it comes to starting out, because ultimately you just need to start. But you need adjustable shoe trees. You need those to reshape maybe a deformed shoe. You're gonna need masking tape, right? Because when you're painting and using chemicals and things like that, a lot of the times you're only wanting to do this on a certain part of the shoe. And so you want to kind of tape off any parts of the shoe that you don't want to get paint on, you don't want to get chemicals on. You see what I mean? So that masking tape is something I will not let you leave here without knowing you need. Now here's something that most people do not even talk about in the resell restore game, bro, and that is a lot of the times, and I'd go as far as saying 70%, all you need is maybe one of those Foot Locker kits with like the cleaning brush. I know Rejuvenator has a good one, but most of the time, bro, that's all you need comes to restoring the shoe. It is so underrated and so crazy how much a good powerful elbow grease scrub can take a shoe from like a 4 condition all the way back up to a 9, bro. And shout out to my boys over at DC Soles, because they actually built a sneaker reselling empire, bro, kind of using these same type of techniques. Now at this point you might be wondering, bro, I want to know more about this Amazon stuff, this free Amazon stuff. I bet. So your next step is gonna be click this video, and that video will show you all about it. Man, Rico gang, I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Love y'all. Let's get it.